How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we are looking at the Sett man to himself. Sett is a champion that I don't normally play in a lane that I don't normally play, which is solo lane. But I got a little bit sick of playing jungle, so I thought, you know what, let's auto fillet. So we've been auto fillet for a while, and it put me into the solo lane. So I thought I'd give Sett a go after hearing some really good things about this champion, especially given the new item Heartsteel. Even though everybody doesn't always build Heartsteel first, it gives your boy Sett immense amounts of health. And obviously he has immense amounts of shield as well. So if you have an enemy team that don't build anti-shield, you're already off to a fantastic start, to be honest, because if you're not going to build an item that actually counters Sett, you're pretty much damned to lose. Sett has some really great things within his kit. He obviously has his empowered and first ability, with also the movement speed increase when you are chasing an enemy champion. His second ability, if he gets pounded, he has his passive, which is grits, as you can see, which is that bottom bar below his health. You'll see it go white. The more attacks he gets, the bigger the shield he pumps out, and the bigger the damage he puts out when he lands it onto the enemy champions. His third ability is a pull-in, so if you've got two champions on either side of you, or you're just trying to quicken the minion wave out of the enemy turrets, you can use that as well, or use the ability of that to get that out of there as well. Can you not zoom out of this anymore? And then obviously he has his ultimate, which is really good for either trying to gank enemy lanes and throwing the enemies that are overextended into your turrets, or just to completely concuss them, do a heck of a lot of damage, and just have your way with the enemy champions that fall victim to your ultimate. But it also is a great piece of kit to be using to throw enemy junglers off of jungle objectives. So if you find that it's 1v1 against the jungle objective for either Rift Herald or the Dragon, you know that Sett can literally launch the enemy jungle over the wall of the Dragon or the Baron. So it's really cool. It has really good utility. We see sometimes within competitive that Sett goes for, or is used in the support lane just to have that utility on your team. So Sett's not only a support, a solo laner, sorry, but he's also a support within the right conditions. But he'll always be a support he'll always be a solo champion for me, so a Baron lane champion for me, just because of his kit. He's a bruiser. He doesn't necessarily fit into the support role, even though you have people like Nautilus as well that sit into the report role, but they are meant to be supports, but sometimes can be used as jungle. So it's kind of like Sett is Baron lane priority, then second role job is support, whereas the likes of Nautilus, his support role is main, and then second role can be as jungle. So it's not like he's a prioritized into the support champion pool. So that's a little bit of a rant from me. But back into the game. As you can tell, it's a little bit of a hard matchup between the Urgot as well, because obviously Urgot has the use of range. He has those parried abilities from his second ability, so his basic attacks become a little bit more harsh onto bruiser-like champions like Sett. But I feel like the more you get Sett's items up and going, the more health he's got. I think that advantage for Urgot soon disappears, because he doesn't have enough damage to actually take down that newfound health and armor from items like Heartsteel and the likes of. And as you'll see in this game, I actually have a really good laning phase against the Urgot. I don't feed him. He doesn't get his way with me. I generally have my way with him. Comes the grits. He does flash out, but then boom comes the ultimate. I mean, that's a bad move, right? Why would you flash out of the way of my grits just to get met by the haymaker or the showmaker, whatever it's called, straight into my turret when there's none of your minions in my turret as well? It's kind of like, why would you flash that? That's either a big boo-boo, or he actually thought he had me against the ropes, but not Sett. No, 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 no. To be fair to me, this is probably like my third Sett match ever. I don't play the champion frequent enough. It is a champion I really do want to get grips of in Season 12 ranked, because obviously with these new tank items like Heartsteel, Titanic Hydra, stuff like that, that really fit these bruiser kind of champions. He's really started to shine. Obviously, when these items first came out, they weren't the greatest, but there's been a hot fix on the items in ASOL as well, so they make them a little bit more worthwhile and going for nowadays. Just a little note, by the way, a little disclaimer. Mid laner is one of my viewers. It is Mr. Ducky himself. We've been playing together quite a bit recently, on stream and off stream. He's a really nice guy. If you see him in chat, make sure to be like, yo, you're YouTube famous. You're on BLAM's video. He's generally a nice guy, so shout out to Ducky for playing a duo queue with me rather than leaving me to solo queue sanity. But first recall back, we do get Heartsteel. We're looking to build plated steel caps because they only have 1 AP champion on the enemy team, which being the Karma. From recollection, I think the Karma actually didn't do too bad in this game. And I do have to point out as well that Yone does actually go AFK like halfway through this match. I'm not too sure why, because he was actually like he didn't die once. And me and Ducky in the mid lane was like, yo, if this Yone like stayed in this match, would we have won it? But I went 0. I didn't get any deaths as well, so I feel like it would have been a nice little match up there between me and Yone to see who could kill who. But yeah, it was a really good match to play, this one. Obviously, Baron lane's always slow, especially when the enemy team doesn't have a assassin jungler as well. We do have Mundo coming through here for a 2v1, a nice little tasty 2v1 under my turret. He does go for my turret. I decide to focus on the Urgot. Obviously, thanks to Mundo's passive, I fling nothing out of nowhere, but I have plenty of grit stored up. There's a CC. We see Urgot still trying his best to come for me, and even in a 2v1 with two quite tanky champions, two quite bruiser-centric champions, Sett manages to still survive a tricky 2v1 under the turret, because thanks to his jungler who took his sweet time to come to his rescue, I still survived. If it wasn't for me being able to play that 2v1 very well and outplaying the enemy team, because I feel like the Urgot and the Mundo wasn't really communicating too well together. I feel like if they focused me like actually 2v1 head on under my turret, I think I may have lost, but I managed to wing it, managed to secure the 2v1 outcome in my favor, and we managed to get the first tier turret as well up in the Baron lane. So that's the first turret in the match goes to me. First blood wasn't me, however, but we're now 2 kills up. I am almost a 1k gold difference ahead of the Urgot in the Baron lane. He's building the Black Cleaver for obviously shield purposes, and it's a really good item against the likes of Sett. But it's generally your typical go-to item for most Baron laners anyway. But here we go. Here's that 2v1 rodeo once again. I do, however, admit defeat here because Mundo has the health. He's battering my turret. They have the minions there. So there's not really much I could have done with that. It was either try and stay committed to go and maintain my turret and die, or let my turret fall, keep myself alive, and then just recuperate and just take this CS in the Baron lane, which I do nicely. I now rotate down to the mid lane. We do lose the turret in mid lane as well, because Mundo and Urgot are just doing that brain dead strategy that some players do, that think, oh, well, we'll just do a knock-on effect. We'll go and knock on the door in the Baron lane, take that turret, we'll then go down to the mid lane, take that turret, and then we'll go down to the bot lane and take that turret. I don't think they managed to secure the bot lane turret, though, however, because we intercept them, especially with the help of Seraphine. So there goes the double kill onto Varus. He's already been pretty successful taking the kill onto the Karma that rotated down there earlier on, and then manages to get the kill on Urgot as well. So nicely fed there to the Varus. You want to be feeding up your ADC. I kind of make a little mistake there going for the turret, not realizing that Mundo was that close by as well. And then Master Yi is kind of, even though he's better than the Master Yi that we just completely schooled on Kayn in our Kayn match, his rotation is not a clear one. He has no clear path in. He doesn't know what he's kind of trying to do in that. Rip that Chains of Corruption, completely trying to CC the wall there. We all do that. We all victim to those bad Varus ults. Seraphine, however, is about to be victim to this Urgot, but oh, pretty low snipe onto the Karma. We get the Showmaker onto Urgot as well. So Urgot goes down. We're looking to intercept the Mundo from taking the second tier turret, but it looks like he's not going to commit any longer. He's going to go and help Yone onto Mr. Brand, which has been played by Ducky here. I clear up this minion wave quickly to go and assist Ducky in this one, potentially stealing that blue. Thank you very much, Mundo. Thank you, Mundo. Thank you. But like I was saying before, Sett is not one of these champions that I used to like playing. When Sett first came out, I was more happy with the idea that he's been released in wildrift rather than actually being like, ah, oh, sick, I'm going to actually finally play this champion. Towards the end of last season, I was playing him in jungle because I was just trying to have a little bit of fun with the end of last season. Be like, oh, you know what? Some new items have come out. Sett's okay in the jungle sometimes. He used to be played a little bit more. Obviously, if you go for one of the minor runes, which is all about empowered attacks, it's really good in terms of his wave clear and damage onto minions and monsters as well. So that's always super handy to have if you go for Sett jungle or if you fancy trying out Sett yourself. But I feel like he's definitely homed up there in the Baron lane. He just has all the kit for 1v1. He's very strong now. His punches definitely pack a powerful hit. There was one point where he kind of felt a little bit soft, but I feel like he's now found his home place with these new items in the Baron lane. But looking a bit back at the gold here, so we're now way ahead of the Urgot by 1.1k, so we were just falling shy of a 1k previously, so now we're 1-1 ahead. Right, so we start this little interaction here. It was a 1v1 with Urgot, but I did see that Yone was very close by. Luckily for me, though, he did recall. I feel like the Yone was miscommunicated with the Urgot there. I mean, if I remember correctly, it was only literally a few moments ago, but he had a lot of health, so I don't understand why he went back. He could have just come in, helped pounce onto myself, take me down for the first time, then he would have been notoriously the only champion to have not lost a death to anybody. But I take that title because Yone goes AFK. Like, once again, he is recorded again at the blue buff. Yes, he's going to get his attack speed boots, but I think this is where he AFKs, you know. I don't see him after this. He went to buy his attack speed boots, and then we don't see him again. Mundo trying to do that massive damage onto our squishy champions. Mundo managing to get away, though, there. Because Ezreal just couldn't find... Well, not Ezreal, sorry. Seraphine just could not find the way, or Varus couldn't get his hits onto Mundo. Mundo with the new items as well is pretty much a troublemaker, but we don't see the enemy Mundo here trying to build any of the new items. He's just completely going for the run-of-the-mill, the old kind of build of Mundo, which is your Sunfire Cape, your Spirit Visage, stuff like that. I mean, fair play, the Spirit Visage is probably a good item to go to because of the two champions we have on our team, which is the Varus, not the Varus, sorry, I'm getting confused with AP Varus within competitive, but the Brand and the Seraphine both being AP champions compared to the enemy team only having one AP champion, which is their support player, Karma. So not inherently massive AP damage from the Karma, but going for the Relic Shield rather than Sickle, I don't quite understand that. Clearly they're going for more of a survivability, or they just don't know how to play support Karma here. Another note here is that Mundo's cleaver throwings in this match have not been on point. He would be terrible at Mundo dodgeball in the Baron lane pick, clearly. Nice hit there from Brand, looking to try and get that CC off of him. Obviously, we already procced his passive. Karma coming in as well for a 2v2 with myself and Brand. I bring the Mundo back into his turret, but we get the grits on. Look at that shield, keeping myself alive. Once again, we get the kill on Mundo, and we make our way out of that team fight just so we can go back and get some more items within our grasp. And it looks like we're going for that Titanic Hydra for the third item there. We go for Divine Sunder for the anti-heal, the the anti-health item of Mundo, because he has a lot of health there. Urgot, respectively, has a lot of health as well, so we went for the anti-health item. It looks like Yone actually didn't go AFK. He's just running around his base. He's having a bit of a strop, it seems. He's just running around his base. I don't understand why he went for a strop, because he's 404. I mean, his build's not the best. He's gone for Wit's End, he's gone for Bork, and he's gone for Twin Guard Amaranth. He clearly doesn't know how to play this champion. He's just building against the brand, it seems. So he's building against brand for the laning phase, but not building for the massive damage output of the team fights, which is a bit bizarre, because, I mean, that's what Yone's job basically is. It's just to completely catch out those team fights and take down your enemy champions with their pants around their legs. But less of that sexual imagery. Let's look at a gold difference as a whole. We're looking at roughly around about that 4k gold difference, which as a team isn't huge, but it's definitely a hallmark of where things are going in terms of the pace of the match. We have the Ice Dragon, the Ocean Dragon is up very soon. We're looking to take the first inhibitor of the match as well. 17 health. It manages to last standing, change the corruption onto the Urgot. We're doing a little bit of a 3v3 here now. Urgot goes down, and it's still the Karma and the Ezreal here just under the inhibitor. But we managed to take the inhibitor as well, because it only had 17 health. And here we go, completely nullifying that Mundo. Even though he went for his ultimate into that team fight, we have the anti-health item there. And I'm pretty sure some of my teammates, no, none of them actually have anti-heal. So his health definitely isn't an issue anymore, because thanks to the Divine Sunder being a great anti-health item there. But also, obviously, Varus having quite a lot of lethality and armor penetration as well really makes sure work of the Mundo. Master Yi doing what Master Yi does best, which is taking those dragons. So second dragon goes to us, but I can't imagine the match is going to last much longer here, because we're pretty much at the Nexus. We're waiting for the minion wave to appear. I'm going to recall back though, however, just to try and build my third and final item. And we get that Titanic Hydra onto Mr. Sett himself, and we're looking to go for a anti-heal item now. As you can see, the Executioner Calling being built there, just for Mundo's healing, and just for any heals that obviously Karma doesn't give, or just from the Summoner Spell heal. So just to try and counter a little bit of that anyway. So it looks like we're running the minions down here. There's 3 of the enemy team already dead. Yone is pretty much AFK, pushing lanes there. And yeah, we're looking to push and completely just destroy the enemy Nexus, taking the fantastic victory there. It was a little bit of a slow burning Baron lane phase, but then we decided to pump up the intensity, especially within these team fights, especially within these 2v2s, those 3v3s, with Sett and his great kit there, and finishing on 502 with overall 12k compared to my laning opposition, which was 10.6, a whole 2k difference just alone there. And if we look at the other stats, so damage being taken is 20k, which is more than, I mean, close to more than the entire of the enemy team taking damage on the opposite side there. And in terms of team fights, 41, 41, 59, 59. So the dual lane really causing havocs here and starting team fights pretty much because they have the highest team rate participation. And then in terms of gold, nothing to shout and cry about, but 12k, 12k, 11k, and then 15k. But yeah, this has been a really enjoyable Sett match. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Let me know if you play Sett quite frequently, if there's any tips you would give me in terms of how to improve my Sett gameplay or improve my Sett build. Let me know about those in the comment section below, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.